Waste contamination is a global problem. An average council ends up spending anywhere between $100 to $300,000, depending on the severity of the event. Once you know all the factors and the costs associated with contamination and its environmental impact. Hi, this is Narayan from BinSense, an IoT-based sensor technology business developed to monitor, report, and educate on contamination levels within curbside bins and address behavior change at source. These are some recent incidents showing impacts of contamination such as batteries, aerosols, hazardous chemicals entering recycling trucks. And this is due to poor separation at household or business level, which can lead to contamination of recyclables in a commingling stream. Contamination is a significant issue, particularly for your dry recyclables in your yellow top bin, which can complicate the reprocessing requirement and can be detrimental to the end product quality and may lead to material being sent directly to landfill. Export markets have become more constrained in recent years, and this is set to continue. And the management of contamination represents a considerable cost to councils and waste service providers. Stakeholders rely on a number of dated manual-based processes and systems, and the most prevalent being the manual inspection or bin auditing. However, it comes with its own challenge. It can be only conducted on bin collection days. Costs are sometimes significantly high because of its labor intensiveness, and there's high potential for error and the risk that the data is not standardized across multiple stakeholders. And on the other end of the spectrum, we do nothing. So BinSense has identified the above issues, and in 2019, we commenced a series of design, development, and testing of the world's first sensor technology to monitor and track waste contamination. Currently, we have no simple or automated tool to monitor and report on contamination from individual bins. And it is hoped that through continued monitoring and tracking and the reporting to households on their waste behavior and effectively communicating this back to them through education material, it will ultimately help in changing waste behavior, help in reducing waste contamination, and divert waste from landfill. So our sensor is quite easy to install. By drilling a hole in your bin and attaching the two fully commissioned components together, and the sensor is fully self-powered through solar panels. The technology will display a dashboard that details the level of waste contamination per bin and contamination hotspots and can provide targeted education directly to the waste generators, initiating behavior change at source. The council can also use this data for identifying problem areas and planning targeted community waste education programs. The sensor collects information on contamination levels, bin usage, fill levels, and temperature, and the dashboard allows easy access to all departments within a council, enabling better use of data. And this is how it works. The sensor smells for contamination in the bin, and our virtual app, which is currently under development, will prompt key notifications during bin collection and report bin contamination issues to the households who are using the bins. And then for the truck drivers, they use a dashboard to identify contamination on the day of collection and take actions accordingly. So by doing the above, we are positively contributing, but not limited, to the 6 of the Sustainable Development Goals. And BinSense ultimately aims to engage households or bin users in better waste management behavior and improve waste diversion rates and reduce our environmental impact. And to that, we have developed a minimum viable product and will be running pilot projects from early 2021 across 5 different councils in WA and Victoria. And our unique value proposition is our multi-gas sensor that can smell contaminants along with other sensing capabilities, which is analyzed and used in better educating households, and then exposing insights to councils and waste service providers. And we are working on automating all manual tasks associated with bin auditing and with our machine learning algorithm to provide better analytics and insights to councils. Our education app for households are free, so it helps them to address their waste contamination at source, but also change their behavior with how they throw away the waste. And also we have a way of gamifying the community by comparing their contamination rates. So I'm Narayan, CEO and co-founder of BinSense, with a focus on solving problems for positive impact on our planet. My friend and my co-founder, Joshua, who originally came up with the BinSense idea, and Charlie, one of our investors and chairman. We want to take this one step at a time. Currently, we are looking for councils to trial this technology to understand its benefit and impacts. It's all uncharted territory, which makes it interesting, but we would not want to predetermine anything. What we can assure is that we will work with all stakeholders to ensure the ongoing investment will be suitable as it delivers value and data on contamination, bin usage, and reducing our environmental impact. So waste contamination is a global problem. We would like to be in the forefront of this by providing the technology and the data to make effective transition to a circular economy. And Binsense will be an Australian-grown solution to a global waste challenge. So join us in our journey of addressing world's contamination, and we are keen to talk to councils and residents for running trials. And please feel free to get in touch with me for further information. Thank you.
Thanks, Naren. Thank you, Binsense. Let's hear what the judges thought.
Hey, Naren, it's Luther here.
Hi, Luther.
Listen, great idea. Love your pitch. Just to drill down a little bit, do you have are the patents that you have right now, are they pending? Have you been awarded them? And I take it it's for the hardware construction. And a follow on to that is, where are you manufacturing the sensor hardware, and what VOCs are you actually measuring?
Yeah. So go back to so the patents. We have an Australian patent, and we have applied for an international patent, which is currently going through its reviewing phase. So we have been told so far there's been no conflicting patent that's been looked at. And in terms of manufacturing, the PCBs come from overseas, but then the components and the assembly and the casing manufacturing is done locally. And we've actually taken the products to a chip as a primary focus with our sensor. So all our sensor casing is made from the bin lids that are recycled. So we're working with a local company here that would collect used bin lids and crush it, pelletize it, and then be working with the injection molder locally in Western Australia, who would then convert it into the molds for the sensors. And obviously it is at a trial phase, so the quantities are low. But as we get the numbers up and we know what we're looking at, we will look at scaling up and setting up manufacturing plants within WA. And what was the other question? What are the gases?
What are the VOCs that you're measuring?
Yeah, so we probably
the organic compounds.
So probably we look for methane, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and also we can measure all the chemicals from the battery leaching.
Okay.
So is the idea that the councils pay for it, or are the users like, would I pay for one in my own bin?
Currently, the model is the councils pay for it.
Yeah.
And it would be integrated into the bin in the long run. So currently for the trial, the councils pay for it, and in the long run, it'll be an integrated bin cost because we understand the councils pay a fee for the bin, and then we would then collaborate with the bin manufacturers to look at integrating the production cost.
Yeah, right. And presumably, so because it's just a small device, there's something on the garbage truck that picks up the data as it goes past. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. So there is a dashboard that goes on the truck, and then the dashboard talks to the sensor. And so the first hand, the households get the opportunity to remove the contamination through their app. But if they don't, on the day of collection, the dashboard on the truck will tell if the contamination is still in the bin.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, they can stop it from getting into the truck.
And have you worked out, or have you got a way of working out what the return on investment for a council might be? So,
well, I'm sorry. Yeah, a great question. We don't have the full metrics because we're trying to understand the exact cost associated with contamination.
Yeah.
And it's sort of varying between councils, and also the contamination rates are varying between councils in terms of what is acceptable as a contamination. Is it 1%, 2%, 5%? And what point would an MRF or a material recovery facility would accept that waste before they would say, well, that's too complicated to manage. So there's a whole life cycle cost that we got to analyze to really understand what is the overall impact.
Yeah,
I'm going to throw to Melissa here because I can share.
Yeah, sorry, I've got a bit of background noise as well. Thanks for your pitch. Have you given any thought to the cost of retrofitting bins? I just certainly know our city, we've just rolled out brand new bins. Yep. Have you looked at the cost of retrofit, how long it's going to take, the labour, and probably, follows on from the previous question.
Yeah.
Because, we looked at something like RFID, to the cost to go and do that, this is very similar technology to a degree in terms you have to go and put it on a bin.
Yes, yeah. So in terms of the cost for the trial, obviously we'll have to go and do it manually, and it takes just under 5 minutes because we just have to drill a hole in the bin and then the two components clip together, and it's just under 5 minutes task per person. But once we talking in large numbers, say more than 500 bins, then our plan would be to talk to the bin manufacturers and integrate the assembly of the sensors at the manufacturing level rather than at the council level.
So it'll take some time to get every bin fitted in the city.
Yeah, so it'll have to be a planned rollout because you anyway spend time.
So it's going to
changing the
take
bin lid.
years to kind of get it in every bin potentially.
Yeah, so well, that's one thing we got to work with councils. What is the most effective way? Because we understand the bin lids is already a change out program, and it takes a time to do that. And as far as we can supply the lids with the sensor already equipped in it, then the cost of changing the lid it's not going to change.